Will you be the
Alone,
one?
I look
Look
amazing.
Oh, that's good music, isn't it, Asher?
Yeah.
That is the EP3s, courtesy of Sean Rose. Shout out to Sean Rose and all of those guys.
EP3s, will you be the one
Will you be the one?
to see inside me?
So go check them out. Amazon Music, YouTube Music, iTunes. The EP3s.
EP dash or top dash, whatever it is. S.
Yeah, something like that.
The EP
Threes. Yeah. So, how are you, Asher?
Amazing.
You are amazing. Hey, just a little quick note. Since this just happened, thank you, Eric, for tweeting this out so we knew all this. Daytona 500, or as Asher has called it today,
the Daytona 500.
The Rain
You'll
Tona
learn about that
500.
later. Why it's called the Daytona 500?
It's the Daytona 500 has been postponed to tomorrow. So tomorrow, 4 p.m. on Fox.
Fox Sports on. I bet it'll be on Fubo Sports Network, whatever it is.
I'm not sure where it'll be, but it'll be somewhere.
Probably on Fox Sports. Whatever
So
it is. We do have a guest coming on our show today, Mike Joachim from Pit Lane Parley.
yes.
He will be calling in at about 7:15.
Yep. So listen up. He'll be on.
Listen.
So Asher, let's get some of this other stuff out of the way. So we don't have our fancy little TV working. It decided to crash today.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
We can't even get AirPlay or the TV, even the main TV, working.
It's kind of a bummer,
it'll just-
but it's technology, right?
Technology.
So shout out to who for
Professional Automotive.
Professional Automotive. They are
For
fantastic.
giving us a Canon XA40 and news microphone.
They have been a huge help to us as we've continued to grow.
Yep.
And they've also done some other cool stuff. And cue Mommy for a video. Oh, she's looking really surprised.
Yep.
Surprise, Mommy.
Commercial for Professional Automotive. I need an oil change. And when I need an oil change, I go to Professional Automotive to buy one of these $30 cars for 3/4 synthetic oil changes. It'll also give you $25 in towing assistance and $25 in coupon up to 10%. Woo. Your purchase of this card can help Asher's Racing Channel get better. If you want one of these cards, let my mom and dad know and we will give you more details about it. I am trying to sell 100 of these cards. Thank you and have a nice day. Amazing.
That is so cool. So
Yeah.
just a
That
little
was
bit
me in
more
there.
information. It was you.
Yep.
We are selling these cards. They are 3 full synthetic oil changes
For $30.
for $30. And
At
proceeds.
Professional Automotive.
Yep. The proceeds of these cards, go to help Asher grow his channel.
Asher's Racing Channel. You're
and,
watching it right now.
Super awesome, isn't it, buddy?
Yep. Maybe I should sing the Asher's Racing Channel. You're watching it right now at the very front.
Yeah,
At the start,
maybe.
I should say.
So,
Asher's Racing Channel, you're
Let's
watching
talk
it.
about some racing, shall we?
Let's start with the Daytona 500.
Yep, as you have so affectionately called it,
The Daytona 500.
the Daytona 500.
Yep.
By the way, viewers, feel free to comment. We love talking to you guys. Say hi. Tell us where you're watching from.
We want to see how far our stream goes.
We do.
We want to see if it goes all the way to California.
We know it goes to
Anybody from California,
New
please
Mexico.
watch.
Yep. So
I wanted to see if it would go all the way to Africa.
I wonder. Oh, speaking
Oh,
of New
yes.
Mexico, Asher got some fan mail. Some of you guys saw this, I'm sure. We'll get the one big piece and kind of show off that.
Dun, dun.
So we got a very nice package from Miss Jennifer.
Jennifer something or other.
She works at the Unser Racing Museum in New Mexico.
New
And,
Mexico.
They sent us a cool package. They sent Asher a cool package, not
Yep.
us.
Watch the video on YouTube, and it's probably on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, right?
Yes, it is.
Yay. So
Okay.
go watch that now. Give it a big, fat thumbs up. And
Yeah,
After
watch
the
it
show.
after the show.
so watch my show and then watch the video.
Okay, so thank you
Back to the racing
Alan
world.
Sue Unser for some of that cool
And
stuff.
Jennifer.
And Jennifer.
Watch my video, and you'll have another things for me on there.
So
Also in this room,
back to the Daytona 500.
Daytona 500.
It has officially been postponed to tomorrow. They can't keep the track dry, and the weather keeps coming in, right?
It's like rain, dry, race. Rain, dry, race. Rain, dry, race.
Wash, rinse, repeat, right?
Rain.
Miss Cheryl Cook just commented that she's watching with her mom at the hospital. Cheryl, I hope your mother gets feeling better soon.
What hospital?
Community South Hospital.
Oh.
So,
All the way in.
it's
So-
in here in Indianapolis.
If you guys have any questions for me or Brandon, just comment down below and we will answer right away.
Yep.
If you have questions for both of us, put it in one comment or one.
So, the Daytona 500. This has kind of been a
Was a-
crazy week with the
'Cause it's
Speed
raining.
Week, right?
Speed Week.
They did get a couple races in already this week. We had a truck race.
Yep.
With a really big wreck. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, you
I haven't
didn't? Did I not show you that? It was late at night, Friday night, so you were
Yeah,
already
it's
in
probably
bed.
after 8:30. So.
Yeah. Yep. As Mommy said, he was passed out. He was a tired boy.
Yep.
But the truck ended up on his hood, or up on his. He flipped over. I know it was a big wreck, especially for those trucks. That's not typically a.
Especially when they're a Toyota Tundra or a Chevy Silverado or whatever they have it.
Yep. So I don't remember who won that race, but we did catch the entirety of the Xfinity race yesterday, didn't we?
We did.
So who won that one?
I can't remember. I'm not a big I'm not a
You
big
you don't
Xfinity
follow
guy.
it. You don't follow it as much.
I'm not really much of the Xfinity or NASCAR.
Well,
I'm much
that's-
of an IndyCar guy.
But we still talk about it though, right?
Yeah.
So Noah Gragson got his first one,
Woo!
and that was really cool because
Yes.
the only reason I remember it was him was he's number 9, and we all know who your favorite is. Who's your favorite NASCAR driver?
Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott.
Woo!
Oh, I have one question from a fan.
What?
Who has been your all-time favorite interview? This is from Carl Parker.
Carl Parker. Responding to you, Carl. I think it was probably it was like a couple days before the Brickyard when I interviewed Chase Elliott at Top Golf by Interstate 69.
That was a really, really good interview.
It's not even at the racetrack. It was like either 1 or 2 days before the Brickyard.
It was Friday before the Brickyard, yep.
Yeah.
So
Really fun.
that's Speed Week has kind of been an up and down week. They've had a lot of rain.
Mr. Carl, do you have a question for my dad? If you do, comment down below, please. If
The
you have
duel,
ever
the duels on Friday
Duels,
night.
Yes.
They had the same thing happen to them, except they actually got to run, right?
Yeah.
So Joey Logano wins duel number 1, and William Byron won duel number 2.
I interviewed William Byron. Go check out my Brickyard video. You will see me interviewing William Byron on day 2.
You really like to plug your videos, don't you?
Yes.
All right. So, but we will finish the Daytona 500. It'll be
The Daytona 500.
I'm sorry. We're calling it the Daytona 500.
Do
Oh,
not call it Daytona 500.
I know we've
anymore.
talked about this all afternoon. What was more entertaining than watching the actual Daytona 500 coverage?
Daytona.
It was watching Joseph Newgarden on Twitter.
Yep.
For
It's
those
like-
of you who have not seen it yet, I can't really even put it into words how absolutely hysterical it has been. Asher even got in on the fun a little bit. Joe talked about all the different things he could have done during these rain delays, including he's got a degree in herpetology, or not herpetology, botany, He grew an entire bonsai tree. But anyway, go check it out. All the Team Penske guys got in on Twitter. It's absolutely hysterical to see. And just for clarification purposes, in case anybody has ever wondered, no, Asher does not run all of his social media. We quote him a lot. In fact, everything he does, we put on there. He has said along some.
Even if it looks like my comments are me, my mom's saying it's me.
Yes.
Like it's saying I'm or me or.
We're not crazy parents. We still don't give a 7-year-old full access to social media.
When I'm 13, I will have my own Facebook.
Here's another question from Mr. Dean Babcock, and this is a perfect lead-in to our IndyCar stuff. He says, "Will you guys be at any practice days in May?"
We don't know. So replying to you, Dean, I really think we will probably be there.
We should be there most days.
Yeah. If you ever want to meet us out there, let us know where you are, and we might be able to get in touch with you.
Yeah. We should be. I believe most days, at least Mommy and Asher will be out there. I still have to work most days. Of course, on the weekends,
Saturdays,
I'll be there. You know I'll be there. You know I love the track.
Yeah.
So
Indianapolis Motor Speedway is our home track.
We actually have a couple of things that are in the works. One of them with our guest who's coming on the phone here in just a little bit.
Mike Joachim.
Mike Joachim. Yep.
About 7:15, about like
3 or 4 minutes from now. But he
whenever he calls,
yep.
We got some questions for him.
He wants to get you on their video stuff, and then I think I told you all this. He wants to like send you around with a GoPro and get the track from your view. Just how funny would that be? Yep. Could you imagine all of the interesting interviews they would get just because they had a GoPro strapped to you?
Yep.
We almost did that with Checkers and Wreckers last year.
What?
They not that, but they interviewed you up at the up in the Napa suite. Remember that?
Yeah. If you haven't seen, then you'll maybe see a picture of it on my Contact Asher area.
Yep.
On my website, www.ashersracingchannel.com.
Checkers and Wreckers, they're our buddies, Tommy Boy and
Howdy. Tommy Boy.
They kind of been with us since the beginning, haven't they?
Checkers and Wreckers with BW1 Sports.
Check out
their stuff too. They have a website, blackandwhitesports1.com. Check out their stuff too.
I think we got a link to it on our website.
Black and White Sports, if you are watching, we are excited to
I think Tommy Boy is watching.
Seriously?
I think he is.
Then we'll also,
Hi, Tommy
Checkers
Boy.
and Wreckers. Hello, Tommy Boy.
So,
by the way, John Stevens.
So we also have a job swap that is in the works with a very cool guy. Doug Bowles. So,
president of IMS.
As we are waiting for Mike to give us a call, tell us how you met Doug Bowles.
So it started on. There's actually a video about this on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. It's on the Victory Lap.
IndyCar Victory Lap Awards banquet, and Doug was there, and he gave me 2 of these pins here.
They're right here. 2 of them.
Wait a minute, it's not that one.
You don't have. They can't see them on the camera anyway.
These 2.
Those 2. So he gave you those pins, and he had this crazy idea that has kind of taken off, hasn't it?
So there's a part in the video that says, so I said, #this is May. And then he said, #this is May. Pretty but someday you're going to have to do my job and run the Indianapolis 500.
Yep. And
something like that.
One of these days,
it might happen.
It might happen.
Because I am a really big fan.
I was just given
I also met him too.
I was just given a text message that we're going to have a call in 1 minute. So
yay.
So
let's just
it was really cool that Doug has really kind of embraced this younger generation. This is my perspective, so this is not Asher's life. This is Daddy's life. You have really kind of engaged a new generation of race fans, I think.
Yes. Including an F3 driver, Jacob Abel.
Yeah, well,
He's followed. Wait, Chandler Horton followed me on Instagram.
Yep.
Saw it in my. See it in my Indie Auto Show video.
So you connect to different kids, like kids your age, right?
Kind of like Retro Rebel Girl and Alex Jackie.
Yeah.
However you say his last name.
So you kind of get to bring these kids who aren't necessarily race fans, but they'll watch your stuff because you're such a cool kid, right?
Yep.
I think you're a cool kid.
By
I
the
might
way,
be slightly biased.
Did I tell you about this last week? Last week was my birthday.
I think we did talk about it was your birthday last week. We had a pretty awesome party.
Yep.
February
8th at... There actually is a video out on my YouTube. See that. Asher, it's something. Yeah. Something.
Yep. Something
I don't
like
even
that.
know what it's called. I haven't watched
It's
it
Asher's
yet.
birthday video.
Well, I did watch it with my mom, but I haven't seen it on TV yet.
I think you
So,
have.
yeah.
So,
Wonder when Mike Joachim is
any
call.
second.
1, 2, 3, 1:35. He hasn't called yet. It's been 1:35 seconds.
You're a goofball. So, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? We got to see the testing of the IndyCars at COTA. What did you think of the new aeroscreen?
Oh wow! Like I have no idea this was coming, but
So,
yes,
what did you think?
I am pretty excited because that was my first time seeing IndyCars on the real track racing, or not really racing, but practicing in their aero screen. It's my first time seeing that. I was really happy to see the aero McLaren screens running.
It was pretty cool. Hey, we got a phone call coming in.
Hello.
I wonder who it is.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, this is Mike.
Hey, Mike. How are you, man?
So,
I'm
we
good.
got a couple questions for you.
Well, can't you say hi first?
Yeah, hello.
Somebody
Hey
might
buddy.
be a little
Yeah,
bit excited.
jump right in. Go ahead.
Okay, so first, would you like to introduce yourself and what you do?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Thank you. So for those listening, my name is Mike Joachim. I am part of the Pit Lane Parley podcast. We cover all of the IndyCar events, and this year we're also covering all of the IMSA events for the sports car fans out there.
Amazing.
Awesome. So you actually made it down to the 24 hours of Daytona then.
Yes.
So what was that like covering 24 hours of racing?
It was an experience that we should have prepared a little bit more for in advance, but as I was saying last week, I think on our show, I actually was in the hospital the night before I left. So you add that in with not sleeping for a 24-hour race, and it was a really tiring experience, but really just being out at a racetrack at 4 a.m. and hearing race cars was one of the coolest experiences of my life.
I can only imagine how awesome that would be.
Yeah. So, second question from me. How did Pit Lane Parley get started, and how did you get your credentials?
So Pit Lane Parley got started just a little over 2 years ago when I asked my co-host Jess if she wanted to start a podcast with me on Twitter, and she said no. And after a couple test recordings, I convinced her to start it. But even before that, when I was your age, my dad worked for IndyCar, and my grandpa and my great-grandpa worked for USAC back in the Trenton Speedway days. So IndyCar has always been in my family. And I got credentials just by working really hard.
Maybe we should work really hard to get some credentials.
I think you're well on your way, little buddy.
Credentials, please.
All right, what else you got, bud?
So, how's it like to run Pit Lane Parley?
It's a lot of fun. You know, we have a great team. Me, Jess, and Matt get along great, and I think everybody contributes something that makes up the whole team. Where I do all the editing that you don't see behind the scenes. Matt is really good at social media, and Jess is fantastic at finding us new guests and bringing some comedy to our show every week. So. Jess used to work in IndyCar as well, so I think the three of us are a really good team together.
I will say personally from listening to your podcast as we have this year since
Yes.
we've started talking,
I've also
she really does bring the comedy in.
Yeah, yeah. She's really good at finding a question that you would never ever think to ask in an interview, and just says it in a way that comes across really good. So I enjoy her comedy as much as sometimes she makes fun of me. I enjoy it.
I think I know somebody else who likes to ask the awkward questions. I'm pointing at
some
him
of
right
them.
now. All right, bud, keep going.
All right, number 4. What do you think of all the improvements announced for IMS before the month of May?
Wow, I think it's really exciting. I haven't done a ton of research on them because I was in Los Angeles all week, but anytime you add money to the overall winnings is never a bad thing. I think adding, some Verizon 5G service will really help those people in the media that are running around kind of get some work done on the fly, and especially on pit lane where service gets kind of rough sometimes. Especially when there's hundreds of thousands of people there, it definitely helps. And what do you think?
I think it's really cool. They're gonna get more stuff in, and
I know.
really, it's really exciting. We get more stuff for the IMS. Like, it's really cool.
I like the fact they're actually going to renovate the bathrooms.
Really,
I know
really,
that's
really, really.
like
Yeah, the bathrooms
really
don't look very
petty,
good.
but I mean, I remember when he was really young, like the first time we took him to the track, he was barely potty trained, and it was disgusting walking into those turn 2 bathrooms.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. When that whole trough debate was going on social media, to be honest with you, I didn't really care if they got rid of them. And I know some of my listeners will give me tons of grief for saying that, but I'm glad they are renovating them, everything down to paint, and I'm sure they'll put in new sinks. And I know Roger Penske's walked into every single one of the bathrooms in the track, which is amazing. So they're off to a good start so far.
I agree.
Me too.
And I also heard, I don't know how much you have heard about this, they're adding video boards, which that has been my big complaint. And they're making the ones they have better, so you can actually see the timing and scoring from all areas of the track, including the infield, which has always been a big kind of hole in the coverage.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So,
I think that'll definitely help. Those kind of small boards that you see around the track that you can't really see the video very well, and you can't see what's going on. I think those are amongst the ones that are being updated. I have to kind of reread everything again now that I'm back home. But yeah, I think any sort of video board improvement is what I was hoping for when Roger Penske announced that he was buying IndyCar and IMS. So I'm very excited by that.
As are we.
all right, number 5. How did you like IndyCar testing at Circuit of the Americas this year?
So, unfortunately, I had a little bit of a rough time there only because Monday I had some flight issues, so I missed all of media day. And then Tuesday it rained. So my experience was catching up with all of the wonderful people that work at IndyCar on the communications and PR side of things and marketing and all the other media people that were there. So I had to watch Wednesday's test from my computer in Los Angeles in my hotel room. But I will say that once the track dried out, the cars looked really nice on track, and it was really exciting to just hear the engines back and see the cars running around the track again.
I was actually amazed that in the temperatures they were running, with the added weight of the aeroscreen, they were within a half second to a second of Will Power's pole time at COTA last year.
Yeah, and the other thing I don't know if they mentioned it much on during the test, 'cause I had to step out here and there when I was in my hotel on Wednesday. But not only do they have the added weight of the aeroscreen, turn 19 now you can't run wide and go crazy. There's a line you have to cross to keep on the track. So. And both Pato O'Ward and Will Power said in a Tuesday press conference that would slow cars down by about 30 or 40 miles an hour, and they're still within like you said, a half second or a second. So I would imagine by the time April comes around and the weather warms up a little bit, and the guys have a little bit more feel with how the tires and everything are going to react with the aeroscreen, that they might beat the track record.
Speaking of track records, I think that leads right into one of Asher's questions. We're gonna jump around and go to number 7, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 7. What are your thoughts of the top speed of the increased horsepower at Indy 500 qualifying?
I think it's a great thing. Roger Penske hit a home run with that, with the, like your dad just said, the extra aeroscreen weight is going to weigh the car down a little bit. So this extra 45 horsepower for qualifying will keep speeds, maybe right around 230. Maybe they'll go up a little bit. So I think it's really good. I think that it'll help until the faster engine comes out in a couple of years.
I'll interject a question just because it came up.
Yeah.
So what do you looking forward, because I think they've talked about the hybrid system coming out in 2022 or 2024. I can't remember.
I hope it's 2021.
Should Arie Luyendyk be shaking in his boots?
Man, I've heard two different things about the new engine, that it might be that the engine formula is still potentially being tweaked. I don't know if we're ever going to see 237 miles an hour for an average lap again, but will we see 233, 234 come back into picture? Yeah, I think we'll definitely see increased speeds, but I don't know a ton about hybrid technology and how it will work in an IndyCar yet, but I don't know if we'll see 237 or 238.
I can't remember. What was Arie's time? Was it 239?
Oh boy, I should know this, but I'm sort of jet lagged and exhausted right now. I thought it was 238-ish, but you might be right. Somebody out there can correct me on that one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure Jessica will interject when you guys record.
Somebody will
Tuesday.
give me a hard time. Yeah.
Who in the world is Jessica?
Jessica's his co-host on Pit Lane.
Okay. So, starting the Daytona 500 recap. Number 1 of Daytona 500 recap. When Jimmy Johnson joined the Circuit of the Americas for a test, do you think we will see him here in IndyCar soon?
Yeah, I think in 2021 we might see him do some road and street courses. He seemed very interested in talking with, let's see, who did he talk to? Pato O'Ward and Will Power about kind of how to handle a car around those corners, the S's through Circuit of the Americas. So I think we will see maybe a handful of Jimmy Johnson races on road and street courses next year.
So what would be your dream circuit to see Jimmy Johnson run? I know what mine is, but I want to know what yours is.
What is yours?
I'm gonna say Long Beach. It's such a cool atmosphere and such a great track. I think Jimmy Johnson would bring just another level of excitement to the event.
Do you think it would compare with Fernando Alonso running the 500?
Hopefully he does.
I do.
I agree. I think he's just the name recognition. I mean, Asher's not that big of a NASCAR fan, but even he knows who Jimmy Johnson is.
Big IndyCar fan. big IndyCar fan.
You got one more, Bub?
That's a good answer.
So we got one last portion of the Daytona 500 recap, and then, So number 2 of Daytona 500 recap. Who's your pick to win Daytona?
Oh, boy.
Just tell me your top 3.
So I didn't get to watch what little happened today before the race was red flagged until tomorrow for the rain. So I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. I put $10 down on FanDuel for Kyle Busch, even though he started 27th or 28th. So I'm going to go with Kyle Busch.
Okay.
Okay.
Asher, who was your pick?
First, can you tell me your second and third pick?
He wants your top 3.
Yeah.
Oh, top 3. Okay. All right. Let's see here.
So
Second place is going to be, I forget half the drivers who are even racing in this. Let's go with Eric Jones is going to be in second place, and we are going to see Denny Hamlin in third place.
You like Joe Gibbs Racing. That's all this is.
I just picked the
everybody
cars that I
race?
could remember off the top of my head because I have not watched too much NASCAR.
Okay, so mine is Austin Dillon in first place. Yeah, let's do that. And I'd like to see Jason first and yeah, second. Right, second. Austin first and Jason second. And let's actually go with Joey Logano in third.
Okay, good choice.
I like the Penske pick.
Penske pick. Are they all Penske drivers? Seriously?
Oh, by the way, we were just given the fastest lap was 2:39.26.
Oh, perfect. Thank you to whoever brought that out. Yeah, I don't know if we'll go to 2:39, but I think the return to somewhere around 2:34 is definitely possible with the new engine, which I think you said is 2022 is the most likely year we'll see that.
Yeah, I know that they wanted to work out the kind of the quote unquote kinks with the Red Bull aeroscreen before they really upgraded the car. Well, Asher, do you have anything more for Mike? This has been absolutely a blast.
Before we go, Mike, all of you out there who have questions for Mike Joachim of Pit Lane Parley, please comment them down right now for Mike Joachim.
Oh yeah, on our feed. By the way, Mike, you're being listened to from Gatlinburg. One of our buddies, Chalky, is in Gatlinburg on vacation, and he's listening to us.
All the way to Gatlinburg.
Awesome.
So
thank you for listening.
Yeah. So anything else you want to tell us about Pit Lane Parley before we call it a night?
Yeah, sure. So part of the thing we like to do is give fans a unique look at IndyCar and racing in general. So we did everything we do at the track this year will be on video. So you get to see us interviewing guys, and maybe we'll do some sort of news recap here and there. We haven't quite figured out exactly, but everything's going to be video this year. Also,
Nice.
we have a partnership with HMD Motorsports, the Indy Lights team, where we'll interview somebody each Indy Lights race weekend, whether it be a driver or an engineer. We just released one with one of their engineers, Yancey, last week, which was a really good interview. We'll also be doing the same thing with Dale Coyne Racing, so that's really cool. But Santino's a good friend and a great interview, and I'm excited to talk to Alex Pillow this year. And then on the IMSA side, we'll also be doing the same thing. So look out on our social media for the team announcement on that. I just finalizing some details before we can start working on that one.
That's fantastic. Santino's a good friend of ours too. He when we were at the Victory Lap banquet this last year, Santino walked up to Asher and said, "Oh, hey Asher, what's going on?" It was kind of he actually knew who we were. So, well, Mike, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys around here come May. Maybe we'll have to do a team up one of these days and get Asher on your shows and get you guys on one of ours.
We will definitely do some sort of combination effort in May. I'll be out there all month, staying at Jess's apartment, making sure I annoy her as much as possible.
Sorry, Jess.
I will be there all month, and we can have some fun with it.
Absolutely. Well, Mike. Oh, Asher, you got one more thing. Sorry.
So, what are your thoughts of what are your thoughts of things that you would think ARC would do this year?
Ooh, what would you like to see ARC do this year?
Ooh,
that's a tricky one.
Very.
You stumped me. I don't know. You're gonna ask me again in May.
Okay.
I'll come up with a better answer. I wasn't expecting that one, so I have no idea.
What I'm expecting is to get more drivers and maybe get media credentials for at least IMS, but I doubt it.
Yep.
Because it's already
We're working on
March, and
I think that's a good start.
I agree. Well, Mike, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate you coming on. And for those of you who are out there listening, go follow Pit Lane Parley.
Pit Lane
I can't
Parley.
talk tonight. Listen to their podcast on wherever you get your podcasts from, and follow them all across their social media.
Podcasts on any Apple thing.
Yep.
whatever it is.
Yes. Thank you guys very much for having me on, and I appreciate you guys submitting fan questions each week when we record,
Anytime.
and I look forward to meeting you guys in May.
Absolutely, man.
Me too.
Have a
All
great
right,
night.
see you guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap up here for tonight here as well.
Wait.
Oh, wait.
Talk about ARC Live.
Oh, we already did. So, Asher, I have one question for you.
What?
Are you ready for this?
What?
It's a big question. What's better than going fast on qualifying day?
Probably going faster on race day.
Race day! Hey, guys, go check out Professional Automotive. I love mymechanic.com.
Professional.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.